It's a historic episode this week on Under the Bridge. It's the first time, I think, that we've covered a Marvel Studios movie and a Marvel Studios San Diego Comic-Con presentation in the same episode.
Yay! Boom confetti.
May we never have to do this again. I'm exhausted just thinking about it, and I like this stuff.
That's saying something on its own, isn't it?
Welcome to Under the Bridge, everybody.
Welcome to Under the Bridge.
I'm Cody, aka the Scarlet Troll.
And I am Greg, aka Greg.
And this is our podcast where we talk news of the pop culture variety. Sometimes comic news, sometimes gaming news, pretty much always movie news, and also pretty much always a movie review. So if you like that sort of thing, ring the like button and smash that mother... I can't curse it this early in. Bell.
Yes. Please support your uncanny podcasters.
I guess I could have sworn I just have to bleep it, but that's a lot of extra work.
Yeah, fair.
Could just keep it to myself. Ironically enough, despite the fact that we sometimes cover comic news, there's not going to be a lot of comic news on this, even though it was San Diego Comic-Con.
Which is kind of amazing, honestly. Usually for me, even though I don't follow comics very closely, I usually see one or two blurbs about comic book stuff every now and again. I haven't seen any comic book things at all, and San Diego Comic-Con is going on. I feel like that's damning?
No, DC apparently had an absolute banger of a slate, but
oh, okay.
I haven't been paying that close attention because of other things, but we'll get into that.
Oh, we'll get into that.
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff to talk about, but first, I'm gonna lead with some really, really good news, potentially.
Oh boy.
Ike Perlmutter is out at Disney.
Really?
He sold all of his stock, the entire stake.
The whole shebang.
The whole shebang, the entire kit and caboodle, gone. Blood, sweat, and tears, cast aside.
Yay.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Ike Perlmutter used to be one of the people in charge of Marvel. He is a notorious cheapskate and also probably racist and sexist. But in that obtuse, obscure... Well, it's not that I'm personally racist, it's just the data says that the market's racist, so...
So it's like using the market to justify one's racism, probably.
Yeah, one of those. But the reason he's out is because recently, and we covered this a little bit on previous episodes of the podcast, there was a proxy fight for seats on the Disney board, and Perlmutter put all of his oomph behind... my new old nemesis, Willie Nelson, aka Nelson Peltz.
Right.
This whole episode's just gonna be full of callbacks to old jokes that you don't get. In the spirit of Deadpool.
Hell yeah.
I'm kidding, that was the only one I could think of, so...
Yes, I don't want to lose the audience too hard.
Yeah, don't worry, you don't have to comb through every old episode of Under the Bridge to know what I'm talking about, but if you wanted to...
If you wanted to, we would appreciate that engagement.
Start when we got the banner, though. Before then, it's a little painful. That's only a few episodes in, though, so yeah. Anyways, Ike Perlmutter!
He's gone. He's gone.
Don't let the door hit you on the ass on the way out, Ike. Say hi to the Inhumans for me.
Right. Oh, God.
Yeah, remember, that was him.
Oh, that explains so much on its own.
Yeah, he was the guy pushing to make the Inhumans into X-Men because they didn't have the movie rights, and he was like, why are we gonna let other people make money off of these movies? We could make our own. We don't have the X-Men. We've got better X-Men. We've got classist, eugenicist, supremacist X-Men.
We got X-Men at home. X-Men at home. I need money. God, that whole bit still lives front into my head. And just especially the delivery from the actress, too. It's just like, oh, you poor thing.
I am Queen Medusa of Adelaide. Give me money. That's just Ike Perlmutter's slogan.
I am Ike Perlmutter. Give me money.
No, his full slogan is I am Queen Medusa of Adelaide.
Oh my.
I'm only laughing because he's rich and an asshole.
Yay, there we go.
Anyways, bye-bye, Ike. Have fun.
Bye-bye, Ike.
Here's hoping that whoever picks up all of his stocks isn't as bad, but if they pick up all of his stocks, they probably are, because they're probably also worth $1 billion.
Yeah, for real. Like, if he sold all of his stock and someone else picks up all of his stock, that someone else has a lot of money, which is just a terrifying road at that point.
Yeah. Fun reminder, despite being one of the heads of Marvel, he's the guy who got mad that at a press conference, reporters were allowed 2 sodas.
Ha! 1 to 2!
Frugal beyond the point of practicality. That's good old, like, Perlmutter.
Yeah, that's a little bit excessive on the frugalism at that point.
Yeah. I'm gonna move on now. I've dunked on this man enough. I've never dunked on this man enough, but I've dunked on him enough for now.
Right.
You remember In a Violent Nature, that thing we saw just, what was that, 2 months ago?
Yeah.
There's a sequel coming.
Oh, really?
Yeah, apparently.
Okay.
Good for them.
Yeah, I guess it did well enough to warrant that.
Yeah, Shudder and IFC Films did announce that a sequel is in the early stages of development. So, who knows what that means? Who knows what that's going to entail?
Sequel to the movie that has probably the most gangster long-form kill I've ever seen in a movie.
That was pretty intense and pretty harsh.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
I like that movie, but it's kind of the threshold. It's the litmus test for whether I liked any movie that came out this year. Did I like it more or less than In a Violent Nature?
Right.
If I don't like it more than In a Violent Nature, I probably didn't like it. What's under here? What did I put under this list? God, I've seen 48 films this year. What the hell?
Damn.
I call that a dang good start.
Sure.
Kung Fu Panda 4 is under here. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire is under here. I feel like I'm being too hard on both of those.
Fair.
Nah, never mind.
It's like, am I being too... Nah, I'm good. I know what I want.
It's on a curve, and admittedly it works against them, but I expected more. That's not important. We also know now that In a Violent Nature, the original one, is going to hit Shudder on Friday, September 13th. Well played, Shudder.
Well done.
It's Friday the 13th, you see.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I got that.
Like the
I did
Jason
get that.
Voorhees movies. We talked about one of those earlier this year, except the one we talked about didn't have Jason as the killer, it was Jason's mother, as discussed in the first Scream.
Right. You know, I forgot half of that movie already, just in the thing, with the exception of Mother, because at a certain point I was just like, oh, of course it's you.
I like how I said the one joke was going to be Willie Nelson, that people were going to have to look back at older episodes for, and here I am, I lied, I found more.
We have two callback jokes. Don't let Ike Perlmutter know about that one.
Yeah, he's gonna come after us with his expense account. He's got a ledger. He's like, you know how much that cost us? to make a joke. Yeah, and oxygen.
Yeah, oxygen's valuable. Then why are you taking it all?
That's good. I like that. I like that a lot.
Excellent.
This next bit is not Comic-Con related, it's GalaxyCon related.
What the hell is a GalaxyCon?
I don't know, but apparently Zolo Maraduena, the actor who played Jaime Reyes from the Blue Beetle movie, he was there.
Oh, cool.
And while there, he apparently confirmed for the Cosmic Circus, which is a publication, or at least a website. I don't think they got an actual print publication. Maybe they do.
That sounds like a tabloid newspaper within the DC universe.
Yeah, this isn't normal. Oh god, can you imagine Gotham having a newspaper called the Cosmic Circus and Batman just standing there staring? Anyways.
Batman's on the cover of every issue of that.
No, every time he sees it, he's just like... Just Joker owns it, Joker runs it.
Yeah, for real.
Anyways, where was I going with this? God, this isn't usually a source that I'd use as confirmation of anything, but apparently they did get it straight from Zolo Maraduena that Kumail Nanjiani has been cast as Booster Gold.
Oh, really?
Yes, I'm excited.
Okay.
He was really good as Kingo, and I feel like Booster Gold isn't the same character as Kingo, but there's a lot of similar energy there, you know?
Right, yeah.
The blowhard with an overinflated opinion of himself. I mean, for Booster, part of that's a front, but it's also partly genuine.
Right.
Because the man's a failed football star from the 25th century, I want to say, who went back in time to be a superhero and immediately sold out. Product placements galore.
Right.
Got wheat flakes on his cape, except he doesn't have a cape.
So he just has wheat flakes falling off of him, then?
He has a wheat flake box cape.
Yeah. Where's your cape? This isn't my cape. It's a box of cereal. Yeah, watch this. Just a trail of cereal falling behind him.
He's sad and crabbed out.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. If it came directly from Maraduena, I'm going to assume this is accurate. I mean, but he could have just been trolling. It could have been a jest, a jape, a joke.
Right.
A mere bamboozle.
A mere Speckledorf.
Yeah, that's not even a word, and I agree with you.
Hell yeah.
But it could also be really good casting. I like it. I'm very excited.
That would be very fun, especially with how silly that actor is sometimes.
He's a good comedic actor.
Yeah.
And you need some comedy for Booster Gold. If Booster Gold's not 50% silly, you're not doing it right.
Exactly.
Arguably, you know what? 80% silly. He's a silly guy.
Right.
With some real pain behind it, but a silly guy.
Right, exactly.
I mean, he's best friends with Ted Kord. You don't get to be best friends with Ted Kord and not be a silly guy.
Yeah, you gotta be a little bit of a doofus at that point.
Yeah. So before we get to Comic-Con, I got one more thing, and wow, I'm not happy to bring this segment back because the circumstances mean that people in the entertainment industry aren't being treated fairly, but
yes.
I am glad that it means I don't have to waste the jingle I made, because Pay Your Fucking Actors is back!
Yes, it is. Gaming edition.
Pay your fucking
actors.
Yeah, back in, I want to say 2023, yeah, last September, SAG-AFTRA's members voted to authorize a strike against major gaming companies if an agreement couldn't be reached, mostly regarding generative AI in video gaming for voice acting.
Yeah.
They did not reach a conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
So, now, SAG-AFTRA is on strike against quite a few major video game companies. This is nuanced. It's not all games within the company. Some have interim agreements. It's based around specific programs, as I understand it. I don't know much about the process. It'd take a scientist to explain it, and I'm just the humanities, and barely that. But
shut the hell up.
I like Mystery Science Theater. What do you want from me?
I can't believe you've done that.
Done what? I don't understand what kind of transgression I've committed.
It's just the bare necessities.
What?
Oh, I thought it... Oh, wait, was that not a whole Jungle Book reference just now?
No, I was quoting MST3K.
Oh, shit.
Not entirely quoting. I put a little spin on it, but...
Oh, fair.
Huh.
Insert I accused my parents shove-in reference just now.
I won an essay contest.
I won an essay contest, damn it. I won an essay contest about how to strike the gaming industry.
Anyways, the 10 companies facing this strike are Activision Productions, Blindlight, Disney Character Voices Inc., EA, Epic Games, Formosa Interactive, Insomniac, Take-Two Productions, VoiceWorks Productions, and Warner Brothers Games.
Oh, Take-Two's interesting, because I could have sworn I saw a thing as well. Although this might be something specific to Rockstar North, that I guess there's not anything, it's not affecting, like, GTA 6's production, because I guess they had a special clause or something like that.
Yeah, so apparently the terms of the collective bargaining agreement are still in effect for games such as GTA 6, so that one's not impacted.
Okay.
However, it's also noted that members may still choose to stand in solidarity by refusing to cross the picket line for these games, but it is permitted for them to work on it.
Right. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I've been seeing some discussion about it, and it's interesting because when it came to the SAG-AFTRA strikes for movie actors and all that, everyone was a lot more on board with everything. I've noticed when it comes to the general discourse of, like, it on the gaming side, there's a general agreement of, like, okay, yeah, people should adequately paid and represented for their work, but...
And shouldn't have their work undermined with fucking computers.
Yeah, but there's not as much beating the drum around it. I think it's just because historically, people within games, I feel like, tend to undervalue voice actors and actors on the whole, when it is very much a thing of games can very much be made or broken by the actors, even if they're a relatively small part of the game. My personal case in point being Armored Core 6. Armored Core 6, from both a writing and voice acting standpoint, is one of the best games I've played recently, because all of that, and especially the way the actors speak and all that, does a damn good job of making you invested in all the characters and the consequences, even though you never see their faces.
Yeah.
I could not imagine that game happening without the people that they had involved. And, as such, it's a thing of, like, I would be very sad in that. Especially since there's a certain bit of irony in that, considering actual AI counterparts exist in that game. It would be very sad if something like that was gone by the wayside because AI takeover.
Right. If I may, Greg, if I may make a bold claim, I think the reason this isn't getting as much traction is because, on the whole, Gamers are sweaty, awful, and stupid, and I say that as somebody who considers himself a gamer still.
I mean, you're not wrong.
But fortunately for all of us sweaty, stupid, awful gamers, SAG-AFTRA isn't expecting an awful lot from us on this one.
Okay, so they tempered their expectations. Well done.
Yeah, their website's FAQ has a message for creators and streamers that says, "We're not asking you to stop playing video games. In fact, the opposite. Please continue doing what you love. Any support and solidarity would be extremely appreciated."
Yeah, that's good, I guess.
Yeah, they also encourage creators and streamers to invite video game performers onto streams and shows to discuss the strike. So you know what? I'm gonna throw an open invite out there. I know nobody really listens to this in the grand scheme of things, but anybody in the voice industry, if you're interested, I'm game. Hit me up. Hit us up. Social media links are in the description.
Indeed.
Click the like, comment, subscribe while you're down there.
Yeah. Help us synergize with the algorithm. Wait, no, the reference doesn't work that
Cinema
time.
synergize.
That didn't work as well as I had hoped.
Nah, but I respect the hustle. I respect the attempt.
Excellent.
Very impressive. Alright, let's move on to Comic-Con, where I've got my one bit of actual comic news.
Oh boy.
Ben 10 is getting a comic.
What?
Yeah.
Why? Like, I thought Ben 10 died ages ago.
It didn't die, it just kind of went into hibernation, because they finished Omniverse, and they did a reboot, and then the reboot ended, and now it's just kind of been holding, but...
Wait, I didn't know there was a... Wow, I guess I have not kept up with Ben 10 nearly as much as I thought then. Alright.
Let me bring you up to speed. It started with an alien device did what it did, and stuck itself upon its wrist with secrets that it hit. I fucked this up already.
I know what Ben 10 is.
Anyways, Dynamite Entertainment has partnered with Warner Brothers Discovery Global Consumer Products. Oh god, that's awful. That's... Just saying that out loud. Warner Brothers Discovery Global Consumer Products.
That's a... yeah.
That makes me sad. Just looking at it makes me sad.
Right.
And when I get sad, I get angry.
Dynamite. Dun dun dun. Sorry.
As a result of this partnership, Ben 10 is one of 5 major new titles that's currently being worked on. The others include Captain Planet and the Planeteers.
Okay.
Thundar the Barbarian.
Right.
The Herculoids.
The Herculoids, okay.
And Dynomutt and Blue Falcon.
Huh. I'm pretty sure I distinctly remember the last one as a cartoon I would sometimes get to watch if I was lucky, because it was, like, never on TV.
Yeah. They crossed over with Scooby-Doo in a movie once.
Oh, did they?
Oh, wait. No, I think they had a direct-to-video movie, and then also they were in the movie Scoob.
Okay.
Dick Dastardly was there.
Right, okay.
Also, I think they were in Scooby-Doo Mystery... They cross over with Scooby-Doo a lot, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, was this when they were trying to do the whole Hanna-Barbera extended universe thing?
Something like that.
Yeah.
That's right, Captain Caveman was in that movie.
Mm.
Captain Caveman was in that movie, and he was voiced by Tracy Morgan.
Really?
I gotta rewatch Scoob. That movie was fucking crazy.
Yeah, it was.
I'm pretty sure I liked it.
I'm pretty sure we watched it for a movie night, and I thought we had a good time.
Yeah. Anyways, Ben 10, I'm excited.
Yeah, back to the main topic at hand.
Look, I watched Ben 10 well past the point where I should have kept watching Ben 10. I love this concept. I love so many of the aliens, not Fast Track. I love so many of the villains. What a great setting, what a cool idea, what execution. Sure, not all of it was, it's not Ibsen, as one Mr. BoJack Horseman would say, but
Yeah.
Still, I have fond memories, and who knows, maybe I'll actually pick up single comics issues of this and help keep it alive. I'm doing it for the Ultimate Universe. Anything can happen.
Fair.
And now, we're gonna get into the Marvel Studios presentation, which is the main thing that I wanted to cover. There are some trailers that released during Comic-Con, but we'll get to that for trailer time. So,
Alrighty.
They talked about, in primarily 3 movies at the Marvel Hall H San Diego Comic-Con panel. They also had a Deadpool and Wolverine panel, but that was a screening of the movie, and also they spoiled quite a few of the cameo appearances that were in that movie. So I'm not going to get into that one yet.
Nice. Well done, guys.
That's great.
I say that seems a little bonehead in my opinion.
Yeah.
To do it like the weekend the movie comes out. It's like, guys, what the hell?
So, the first movie they talked about was Captain America Brave New World. And they had footage for all 3 of the main movies that they talked about, but none of these were officially released, so I'm not really going to get into the descriptions of those footage, but...
Mm-hmm. Right.
I feel like the big takeaway from the Captain America Brave New World section of the panel is that we now know who Giancarlo Esposito is playing, and you know what? When he said nobody guessed, I think he was right.
Okay.
Because it turns out he's playing, in his own words, Sidewinder, King of the Serpent Society.
What?
The Serpent Society is still in this movie, apparently.
Who?
They're a bunch of snakes! They're a bunch of snake-themed supervillains!
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, no. So, some of you might remember this, but back in, I want to say 2014, before Age of Ultron came out, Marvel did a big presentation at the El Cap Theater because they were unveiling their entire Phase 3 slate because they didn't have it already in time for San Diego Comic-Con, so they skipped out on Comic-Con and they did this big presentation. And initially, they announced that the 3rd Captain America movie was going to be called Serpent Society, and then once they finished announcing the whole slate, Kevin Feige looked back and went, I think I'm having a little buyer's remorse on that Serpent Society. Can we change that? And then it changes to Civil War, so they bamboozled us with Serpent Society. And ever since then, I've been thinking, they're never gonna fucking do it. Never. But apparently I was wrong, and they are gonna fucking ever.
Nice.
Right?
That's a long-term bait and switch.
So good.
I
mean, I don't know how much screen time the Serpent Society is gonna get, since there's also Red Hulk in this movie, and the leader.
Right, yeah.
So, they might just be set up for something else or a future movie, or who even knows at this point. I guess we'll find out, but man! I'm amazed. Good on him for signing up for that. I assumed it was going to be something... I hate to say bigger, because you can make anything big, but...
Right.
I genuinely did not think it was going to be part of the Serpent Society.
Hey, there we go.
It also turns out, and I'm only bringing this up because apparently everybody else is freaking out about it, Adamantium is also making its Marvel Cinematic Universe debut. Apparently, when Tiamat, the giant celestial poking out of the ocean, I didn't call it an Eternal this time! Character development!
Hell yeah.
But when Tiamat was transmuted, apparently it was turned into it was turned into adamantium.
Okay.
Or maybe... It might be that it's actually all Celestials are made out of adamantium and the stone covering is just covering the adamantium. I'm not 100%.
Okay.
It's also confirmed that, yes, Harrison Ford is in fact going to be the Red Hulk.
Yeah, I kind of thought so, because we see him with, the white hair in the trailer and all, so I had a hard time seeing it being somebody else.
No, you're right, but it could have been a fake out. You never know. They're tricky like that sometimes.
That's fair.
There was also a Thunderbolts presentation. We didn't get a lot of info that actually matters. There was a trailer, we didn't see it. Oh well. David Harbour was the only one in costume. That's funny.
That sucks. That really sucks, honestly.
Bit, and it fits for his character.
Fair.
He would be the only one in Red Guardian costume, you know? However, apparently what we do know is that Val actually recruits all of the Thunderbolts separately.
Okay.
And the entire mission is apparently a setup.
Huh. Alright, that's got some potential there.
Lewis Pullman was also there. Didn't confirm who he was playing, but we already know he's Bob Reynolds. We know he's Sentry. So that's gonna be fun. I really could stand for a more diverse roster in terms of power set.
Well, I don't know. I don't know a lot about these characters, so is it kind of a thing where everyone kind of does the same thing, or...
Well, yeah, because, I mean, you got Red Guardian, Super Soldier, you got Bucky, Super Soldier, you got U.S. Agent,
who is a Super Soldier.
Florence Pugh, Black Widow, Taskmaster, Black Widow.
Okay, yeah, I'm starting to see the problem here.
And then Ghost. He's like the one person who can do more than just punch good.
Right. I punched the best.
Actually, you know what? It would be worth it for Bucky, Alexei, and John all testing who punches best.
I mean, I would watch an arm wrestling contest between all of these guys.
I mean, Bucky's gonna win an arm wrestling It can't be arm wrestling. He's got the vibranium arm.
Oh, that's true. Well, have to use his other arm, I guess.
Yeah. No, what you gotta do is, you gotta have Red Guardian and U.S. Agent enthusiastically doing this, and Bucky's just, will you two break it up?
So yeah, it's like, Jesus Christ, just kiss already.
That's how that's gonna go.
Mm-hmm.
I eagerly await for whenever the first trailer for Thunderbolts with an asterisk drops online. Maybe in front... I'm sure it'll be before Captain America comes out.
Mm-hmm.
And then, this one, I'm so hyped. The Fantastic Four First Steps. I'm not hyped for that title. That's a dumb title.
Wait, that's actually what it's called?
Yes.
That's a dumbass title.
Like, you could have just kept the Fantastic Four. Nobody would have cared.
Fantastic Four, Baby Steps. Fantastic Four, Rugrats.
The Fantastic Four, 12 Steps. It's about Johnny's drinking problem.
That is not a great title, no.
No. Concept footage was revealed. They have some pre-shoot material that they put together. It's apparently very retro future 60s. So, it's that Jetsons kind of aesthetic sort of thing, you know?
Alright, I'm down.
Right?
Yeah.
And even better, it's confirmed Galactus is human.
Okay.
He's not a cloud this time.
I keep on forgetting that he was a cloud.
Yeah, it was terrible. And, even better, this is the thing, this is what has me sold. They have a goddamn Fantasticar. They have an actual flying car. Hell, they had the flying car in the panel room, and it was flying. I don't know how they were doing it. It was probably a drone or something, but god damn, it's an impressive looking car. Have you seen it?
I think I saw, yeah, it's like the blue thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, alright, that's pretty neat.
It looks so goddamn cool!
Right.
I'm so happy! And then they had to end it. And boy howdy. So, the final bit of announcement is that
here we go.
The May 2026 Avengers movie, formerly known as the Kang Dynasty, will instead be called Avengers Doomsday.
Yes.
Introducing the only Doctor Doom, played by, in the words of one of the Russos who are back to direct this movie, the one person who could play Victor Von Doom.
Wait, did they actually say that?
Yes.
Holy shit.
I speak, of course, of Robert Downey Jr.
That's wild. That is, I mean, don't get me wrong, Downey's a phenomenal actor, but that is a wild thing to fucking say.
Now listen, I had some violent feelings of revulsion when this casting first came out, but I kind of think about it, and I think I'm starting to come around a little bit.
Bullshit.
You're right, I fucking hate it!
I was gonna say, there it is!
I hate this so much! This is such a dumb idea for so many fucking reasons. Oh my god. Look, I think having done this for a couple of years, anybody who's been sticking around knows I'm a pretty big Marvel fan, and I'm pretty lenient on them. I like most of the stuff that they do. I have nitpicks usually, I have comments, but on the whole, I enjoy most of what they do. And I usually like to give them the benefit of the doubt on things.
This is not one of them.
Not on this, though. Not on this. This is
no.
Fucking repulsive, frankly.
It's wild. It's wild as hell.
Let me break this down. First and foremost, it's whitewashing. Because Doom...
I wasn't expecting you to carry on with that.
Well, I feel like this needs to be gotten out of the way first, because this is kind of gross, because Doom is ethnically Romani in the comics, and he's never been represented with that kind of actor in the movies before, and also, it's even worse because Marvel's already done this with at least a couple of other characters, because the Maximoff twins, Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, are also ethnically Romani and not properly represented. However, I feel like this is the spot where I'm least qualified to talk about it, so I'm not going to dwell at length on it. I
was going to say, I'm surprised you went on, because I just said that earlier today as a joke, but then I thought more on it. I was just like, well, actually, It
is pretty gross. It's a pretty gross idea.
Yeah.
Especially because you've got people going, oh, can you name a big Romani actor off the top of your head? That's not my fucking job. That's the job of the casting people. Bitch, Iman Vellani literally didn't have an acting history when they cast her as Miss Marvel, and look how that worked out. The answer is phenomenally.
Yeah, 100%.
It is the job of the people who do the casting to find the person who can best represent the character. But I'm not going to dwell on that aspect, and the reason I'm not going to dwell on that aspect is, like I said, because as As a white, mostly straight guy, I feel like I'm the least equipped to talk about representation in movies, period.
Right.
But I did feel like it was worth noting. And also, I can dismantle this fucking casting choice without that. So...
Alright, so that's step one.
Here's some of the problems.
Mm-hmm.
One, it feels cynical.
It is a little cynical.
It feels incredibly cynical, because you have gone this entire time since Endgame without an Avengers movie. Like, this is the part that sticks with me. An Avengers movie comes out in less than 2 years. We know when. We know who's directing it. We know who the villain is. We still have no concrete idea who's on the fucking team.
Right, yeah.
That just goes to show how, in trying to make these Avengers movies into singular big events, you have robbed the team of any meaning.
Right.
There should have been at least one Avengers movie since then, establishing who the team is. Or at least, you don't even have to call it Avengers, but you should have had some more team-ups. I know you've had some, but it feels like all of your team-ups have been split by, I hesitate to say party lines, but characters who you would expect to associate with each other to some extent. Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch, both magic-related. The Marvels, self-explanatory.
Yeah, the Marvels was the first thing that popped into my mind in that aspect.
Captain America Brave New World feels like the first big thing of things crossing over that don't normally mix. Since Avengers Endgame. And that was 6 years ago by this point, by the time that one comes out. So, you really kind of shit the bed on the Avengers brand with this one.
Yeah, I feel like with that, I'm sure it'll be talked about a little bit more as we explore this topic more, but I kind of got a little bit of that feeling when they announced Downey Jr., because I'm sure they've also seen, like, people's feedback and whatnot, and the cynic in me is going, it's like, okay, they need something to kind of tide people over and rebuild some of the hype, and who better than to cast, I'd say, probably the most arguably overall successful actor and character combination that they've had, who has an extremely large draw to them. I get what they're going for in that aspect, but it is still one of those things where if you're a bit more on the cynical side, you're going, okay, so what's been planned out? Because that's holy hell.
Yeah, I can see the symmetry of having the MCU's original leading man, in a sense, come back, but this time as a villain. The problem is, you haven't established a new leading hero for him to go up against yet. There is no protagonist of the Multiverse Saga the same way that there's a protagonist in the Infinity Saga. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Infinity Saga was pretty good at giving multiple different characters attention, in a way that the Multiverse Saga really hasn't been, because your slapdash approach... And not all this is Marvel's fault. A lot of it's on Disney for forcing them to crank out a bunch of content. But the problem with how you've done it is you've made it in such a way where, because you went out in so many different directions, it's impossible to follow up on everything in such a way that... Because nothing you've done has hit endgame levels, but it was stupid and unreasonable for you or the audience to expect anything to do that. What you should have done was concentrated on a new core group, focused on making that the best you could do, and not going out in 50 different directions trying to figure out what sticks, because by the time you figure out what sticks, it's too fucking late. Case in point, Agatha All Along comes out in September of this year as a follow-up to WandaVision from 4.5 years ago. What?
It's been 4.5 years.
Yeah, January 2021.
I did not realize it's been that long.
Shang-Chi. What was that, September of 2021? Still, all we know about his sequel is that it exists, technically. It probably won't be out until after Secret Wars at this rate. Who fucking knows?
That's okay.
But that's going into broader Marvel problems and not really getting into the RDJ casting problems. So let me scale it back and get to another big issue with RDJ as Dr. Doom. And I say this as a man, I really enjoy RDJ as an actor. Robert Downey Jr. is a very talented individual, and I would love to see him back. Just not as this.
Yeah.
Because part of the problem is, Dr. Doom, and I've said this before, it's the most popular short I've ever done. Dr. Doom is a character who needs to remain masked.
And that's honestly, to kind of take over a little bit, that's kind of one of my big problems with this review, is if you're gonna have Downey Jr. be Dr. Doom, chances are, I know we talked about this a little bit outside the show too, chances are that he's gonna have to probably go a lot without his mask on, which is completely atypical of his character.
It's not that he has to, it's that they're gonna do it, but sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and it's also a shame because, kind of going into one of the issues I've had when it comes to movie marketing as of late, I don't necessarily have, well, I mean, there are issues I have with them casting Robert Downey Jr., but them casting Robert Downey Jr., it's one of those things where, once again, I'm like, why are you letting it loose now, 2, maybe 3 years before the movie comes out? That is a major decision that I feel like would have a lot more impact if you waited until the movie.
They did it for the pop. They did it for the big publicity pop, so they can tell people in the general audiences, don't worry, we're bringing back another big star who you all recognize. I'm hoping it backfires.
And also the Funko Pops, for that matter.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're gonna make Funko Pops, but that's where my brain went when you said they did it for the Pops.
Huh. So, to bring it in, the problem is Doom is a character who needs to remain masked. That is the whole conceit of his character, that he does not remove his mask because he is allegedly scarred. It might just be a slight imperfection. It might be his face looks like a fucking exploded pizza roll. I don't fucking know. Doesn't matter.
His face looks like a microwaved egg.
What matters is that hubris, that inability to accept imperfection is so core to his character that he does not take his mask off. The only times we do see it come off are supposed to be significant. But because this is a movie where they're bringing him back and he looks exactly like Tony Stark and is probably some kind of variant of Tony Stark, I'll guarantee you 60% of this movie is probably going to be him with the mask off. Either he's actually not got the mask on, or it's going to be the heads-up display shot they invented to give Tony more face time.
Man, I hope they don't do that.
Of course they will, because the whole... Why would you make Doom a guy who looks exactly like Tony Stark if not for easy drama points with the Avengers having to fight a guy who looks like Tony, and the only way they can know that is if he doesn't have the mask?
No, I meant as far as the whole, CGI face thing.
No.
I realized, oh man, that would be a great way for them to cheat, and I kinda hate it.
Yeah, no, the heads-up display shots from him in the armor, they'll just do that, I'll guarantee it.
Yeah.
The other problem is, Robert Downey Jr. is already getting up there in age.
Mm-hmm.
This suggests one of two things. Either he is the main MCU Doom, in which case Doom will probably be retired after Secret Wars, which is such a waste of one of the greatest, most versatile characters in the Marvel Comics canon. Dr. Doom can have beef with literally anybody, and it makes sense.
Yeah.
Luke Cage fought him over $200. That's still one of my favorite things ever.
Dr. Doom can have a beef with anybody for the pettiest of reasons.
Yeah.
And then you just have a conversation afterwards like, what did he do? That's why it's like, oh, knowing Victor, that does make sense. It's like, what do you mean that makes sense? Like, well, Victor's kind of a maniacal dipshit.
Yeah. And what, you're gonna waste him? Just blow the entire Doom shot on this big crossover movie and that's it? Or, alternatively, there's a big reset or reboot coming, which is seeming more and more likely now, and they'll introduce a quote-unquote proper Doom down the line, but the problem there is, general audiences will have already made the association that Dr. Doom is associated with Tony Stark, and whatever poor sap that you've got playing this character henceforth is going to be compared, probably unfavorably, to that standard.
Yeah, which is kind of another thing, and going with the whole, my problem with them revealing it early, because now it's a thing of, alright, let's say that this is not the tip of the iceberg. Whatever they have that's supposed to be or planned to be, bigger than Downey Jr. being Dr. Doom, has to be absolutely ridiculous, because otherwise it's an abject failure.
And I think anything that would be bigger, people have already guessed, like Tobey Maguire and Hugh Jackman coming back, easy guess.
Yeah.
The other problem with this is that it's antithetical to the approach that made Marvel unique and helped them get to where they are today, which was casting actors who were talented but not superstars, and giving them an opportunity to flex their skills and become superstars through repeated portrayals of these developing characters. So to turn around and give one of the biggest opportunities to the guy who launched this for you in the first place just feels gross.
A little bit, yeah.
It also feels like the worst excesses, because there's been a lot of criticism of the multiverse saga as a cheap way to milk nostalgic cameos, and I don't think that's necessarily true, or at least it's not substantive. There hasn't been enough of that for me to go, yeah, this feels like a definite problem. Yet. This feels like that, and it's even worse and even sillier because the thing they are trying to evoke nostalgia for is a character who's only been gone, at this point, for 5 fucking years! That's not long enough to be nostalgic for, you fucking dipshits! I just saw him last week! I just rewatched Iron Man 3 last fucking week!
Wow, how timely.
Victor timely. Oh, right,
oh
Kang's
my
out.
god.
I'm not gonna get into the whole waste of Kang storyline thing, because that feels significantly more subjective, and I think I've just got one more big substantive problem with this Doctor Doom casting, and then I'm done.
Okay.
And the other big problem is, even ignoring all the problems with bringing Robert Downey Jr. back specifically at this point in time, without a big established linchpin to go up against him, it feels like instead of trying to build up what you've already got, you're trying to go back to what you had. Even ignoring all that, let's say all of that is a valid reason to do this. There is no fucking reason he needed to be Doctor Doom. If you specifically wanted an evil guy with Tony's face, superior Iron Man, an inverted Iron Man with a god complex is right goddamn there, and it would have had exactly the same pop with audiences, because the thing you were looking for is, look, Robert Downey Jr.'s back. Were you afraid nobody was gonna get what's Superior Iron Man? Because if you were concerned about that, you would have made Iron Man to fucking begin with, you fucking cowards!
Especially since the Superior Iron Man comics, at least from what I remember you telling me, did exceptionally well. Like, better than I think, from what it sounded like from everything I've heard, potentially better than even Marvel themselves expected originally.
It didn't last very long, so I don't really want to state performance-wise. What I've always said is it was an interesting line, and I think there's a lot of potential for it.
Fair.
But yeah, no, I'm not about this.
So, here's my thing, I guess, in a much more concise way about this whole casting for me. Because I am not as deep in the well as you are when it comes to this stuff.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, you're good. No, I need to value what little bits of sanity I have left. I personally also think this is very silly and very stupid, and I am very eager to see the final result. This announcement, to me, this movie has, for either better or worse, I don't think I'll know until I get to see it, this movie has been slotted for me in the same category that Episode 9 of Star Wars is. Because it's the thing about Episode 9 of Star Wars for me, and what I always tell people, is that movie is one of the most fun movies I've seen, even though it is objectively not a good movie, because of how quickly they killed any expectations for anything super worthwhile. My call-out being the whole thing of, man, they're gonna talk about how Palpatine's back, right? Like, I'm really eager to see how they explain that. Opening crawl. Palpatine has returned!
Ugh.
And when that happened, I just sat in my chair, and I felt the thing you see in certain anime where, like, the ghost just leaves your body. And it was just the ghost of expectation leaving my body. I was like, I can have fun with this movie now, because I have zero expectations going into this. And to be completely honest, that's where I'm at with them casting Downey as Doom. And it's kind of a shame at the same point, objectively, because we all know that Downey is a very talented actor. Like, outside of anything he's done with Marvel, he's got chops. He's got pork chops for days. He knows how to act. You're welcome. He is extremely talented. I am kind of interested in this movie as well, because at least from what I've read up and from the admittedly limited time I've spent in his filmography, he hasn't really played a lot of major villains. I feel like the closest we've gotten is, I forget his name, but the doctor who kind of acts as the antagonist to Oppenheimer in the Oppenheimer movie. Yeah, Strauss. So, for me, that's the closest I think we've ever really seen to Downey genuinely being a villain. He normally doesn't do villains or really evil people. So, that's honestly one of the things I'm really interested to see how this turns out. Because I've been interested to see how he does in such a drastically different style of character from what he normally does. But it is admittedly marred by what the cast and character is going to be in.
Yeah.
So, I am eagerly looking forward to this, because I'm not going to go out of my way to say that this movie is going to be a train wreck, because obviously we don't know anything about it truly, but there's enough kind of little bits and Double D and any parents like sticky notes on the walls to go, I'm not expecting great things, but I feel like I'm gonna have a fun time. After that, I was like, cool, I have no expectations for this movie. This is gonna be great.
It's funny because just last week, the idea came up of what would it take for me to give up on Marvel. This isn't that. This is not that.
But it's close.
It's not, I'm not gonna say close. I will say, honestly, it's
moved the meter.
It's gonna take a good trailer for me to watch Avengers Doomsday specifically.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna keep watching other stuff that they put out because I do like most of their content. I'm still excited for projects. I'm excited to see what comes next, although now significantly less, but enough decisions like this are what would probably get me to give up on Marvel Studios. Because I just had a feeling of absolute defeat and dread when this announcement came out. It was exhausting, and it still is. It's still hanging over me. I cannot get over what a potential waste this is of one of the best characters they have. And with an actor who otherwise I would be absolutely delighted to see back.
I think the thing that does it for me as well, kind of thinking in more in the long-term aspect, is it makes me question what's planned after this, if there are any plans. Because it's one of those things where I don't know if there's ever been talk about how long Marvel or Disney proper want to keep the MCU going. But it's a thing of, by the time this movie comes out, it'll be, because the Iron Man came out in 2008?
Yep.
Yeah, it'll be nearly 20 years. Which is wild for any franchise, let alone like a movie franchise. So it makes me go, what are long-term plans? Because that doesn't give me, personally, a lot of major confidence in like the long-term health. Like after Doomsday and all that.
I think this is really pointing to the idea that they're gonna just, maybe not a whole reboot, but there's gonna be a significant cosmological reboot at the end of Secret Wars that is gonna open the door to a revised Marvel universe where some characters might be back, but with new actors playing them. Mutants and the Fantastic Four will probably be folded into the mainline universe, which there's no reason they couldn't have just been from the start. That you didn't have to go through all this fucking rigmarole. But I guess I get the idea of being able to have the Fantastic Four and Tony proper interact, or Captain America trying to weigh in on the mutant plight. But wait, you got Sam Wilson for that. No, fuck that! Fuck that! The sliding timescale is the interesting thing Marvel has that differentiates it from DC, and to throw it away on a reboot is just, disappointing.
I mean, it would be horrible, and it would not go well, but I would be laughing my ass off if they Ultimate Universe the MCU.
That's probably what they're doing to an extent. But I guess we'll see. Which
will lead to the eventual entertainment of me getting annoyed when they bring it back, 10 years down the line. The Ultimate MCU universe is back!
Hey, there's another great callback for you! Can we do trailer time?
We should probably do trailer time.
It's trailer time again! We've got movie previews to watch! It's trailer time again! So we got a new trailer for Joker. French. You were just asking me how to pronounce it, and I don't fucking know, and I'm sick of guessing. So I'm just calling it Joker 2 French.
Yeah, it's like Joker France, Joker Paris, Joker Lady Gaga. I'm still convinced that Lady Gaga is going to be the one pulling the strings at the end of this.
Or the whole thing's her hallucination.
Man, if they do the whole "it's all a dream" thing twice with these movies, then I think I'll finally join you in the Joker sucks camp.
I find this insufferable. I hate it. I hate everything about this except the cinematography.
Oh, the cinematography's on point.
I like a lot of the shots. But anytime a character is talking, just shut up. Shut the fuck up. Like, comment, subscribe, but then shut the fuck up.
Yeah, this trailer did nothing to change my opinion of it from the first trailer, so I'm interested in seeing it, because I want to see how it turns out, and if it's also a train wreck. Because, I mean, okay, I say train wreck with at least a little bit of love, because I did enjoy Joker. I would never go out of my way to recommend it to somebody, but I did enjoy it for the overall most parts. I don't think I'm going to, just based on what we've seen from the trailer so far, I don't have that same feeling going into this movie.
Right.
For sure.
There's been some more details revealed. that some before this trailer came out, but I don't think we covered.
Mm-hmm.
Harley Quinn in this, her name isn't Harleen, it's Lee.
Oh, fuck off.
Also, clearly she's apparently not a psychiatrist. She is instead just somebody who's a big fan of the Joker, so basically you made Punchline. You didn't make Harley Quinn, you made Punchline.
Wait, is there a character called Punchline?
There's a character named Punchline. She's discount replacement Harley Quinn. She wants to be Joker's big titty goth GF.
Okay.
That's it. She literally just exists so that writers have a niche so they don't have Harley Quinn backslide into being Joker's crazy girlfriend.
There. Damn. Okay.
Which, don't get me wrong, it's important that Harley Quinn not backslide. Did you just look up a picture of Punchline? Is that what the damn was for? Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought you were kidding about the whole, big titty goth GF. I was like, nope, there it is.
I was not fucking around, alright? I very rarely am.
There it is. It's like, they know what they're doing, much like the character designers for Zen Zoneless Zero. They know what they're fucking doing.
Oh, and also, this Joker apparently, don't expect him to become the Clown Prince of Crime. You know, that thing that the Joker is?
Yeah.
Fuck Todd Phillips, is what I'm saying.
Mm.
Remember back when he said the point of making the first Joker was to sneak a real movie into theaters? Go fuck yourself, you fucking arrogant Martin Scorsese plagiarizing ass fucking taxi driver, king of comedy, fucking...
Yeah, I was gonna say, what does that even mean?
Means he's a prick.
I mean, besides that.
I'm just bitter. I'm just bitter. So yeah, I guess we'll see you in October. Look forward to the Cinema Synergy episode where I bitch about Joker. Oh, God, I'd rather do Venom. I'd rather do Mortal Kombat, frankly.
Oh, that's amazing.
Any of them.
Yeah.
We also got our first trailer for Creature Commandos, and I am 100% on board.
This looks interesting.
I'm so happy.
Yeah, this looks interesting. I unfortunately am not very well versed or invested within the Creature Commandos, but it is a thing of, oh, alright, this looks like a good time. I still need someone to punch Amanda Waller in the face.
Oh, you won't get it.
It's annoying.
To be fair, somebody did hit her in the head with a golf club in Suicide Squad. The Suicide Squad.
Right. That was satisfying, I will give you that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, this combines some of my favorite things, monsters and crass animation.
The animation in this is something.
Yeah. But to your point about Creature Commandos, my experience with them is limited. I do have a trade paperback of, I think, their main collection, and back then they were just a hit squad in World War II made with mad science nonsense.
Okay.
But I like the idea of them as a replacement Suicide Squad that Waller's able to get away with using because none of them are human.
So the thing that makes me scratch my head with that is that they're this discount Suicide Squad, and we know that because we see the whole detonate thing on Amanda Waller's device and whatnot. How the fuck does that work with G.I. Robot? He's a robot. He doesn't feel anything.
Yeah, but you could short him out. Or blow his head off.
Fair. I mean, G.I. Robot is definitely the character I'm most interested in. I'm going to be honest there.
It's Bride of Frankenstein for me. You all know what I'm about.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, not like that, but...
I mean, a little bit like that.
Don't you fucking presume.
Boy, it's been forever since I've been able to send Nazis straight back to hell. So you're gonna kill Amanda Waller. I kid.
These assholes aren't human. Are you smiling? Yes, I am. Sarcastically? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, this is shaping up to be a good cast of characters. I'm looking forward to this, and we only have to wait till December, so hooray.
Hey, there we go.
Look forward to all the poorly explained comics where I pretend like I have a deep, extensive knowledge of Creature Commandos. I mean, by that point I might. That's a lot of time to catch up on some reading.
Right, yeah.
And then, wow, DC really did release a lot of trailers. We also got a trailer for The Penguin.
Still looking forward to this.
Yeah!
God, it's amazing because, the trailer I saw was one where... I almost said Colin Firth is in...
Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell, thank you.
Colin Firth? No, Eggsy.
Colin Farrell is in front of the cameras. They can say, "Thank you for watching this." I'm like, I still refuse to believe that you're the Joker.
You mean the Penguin?
Or the Penguin. Holy shit. We're 2 for 2, baby.
Oh, good. It's really good that you don't believe he's the Joker, because he's not. Barry Keoghan's the Joker.
I still can't believe that he's the Penguin. The makeup people for the Batman and the Penguin need to... I know we don't believe in, like, the Oscars or the Academy Awards or anything like that, but they need to win all of the awards and get all of the money and signings and networking that comes with it, because...
Yeah, fuck the awards, just give them a big sack of money.
Yeah, because these people are damn good at their job.
To Colin Farrell's credit, it's also, part of it's in the mannerisms and the voice, but it cannot be overstated how much those prosthetics allow him to absolutely disappear into this role.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I genuinely cannot see any part of his face within the Penguin. It's amazing.
Do, pay your fucking makeup artist!
For real!
I'll have to keep that in case I need it.
Yeah. Hey, anything's possible.
No, I'm looking forward to this. I had one Weenie Hut Jr. comic fan perk up moment when he called the kid Vic, and I went, oh wait, is that Victor Zsasz? And then I googled it, his name's Victor Aguilar. Probably not Victor Zsasz. That's fine.
Who's Victor Zsasz?
Oh, he's an absolute fucking psycho serial killer.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I don't think the kid is him, but for a moment I was very excited that the kid could be him.
Fair.
But I'm excited. I like the intrigue. I like the inevitable betrayal. I can't wait to see it. The one nitpick I have is that, and I know that that's not what this Batman universe is about, but if you're gonna do a Batman street crime thing in Gotham, it would really behoove you to have some zany over-the-top supervillains, and I know that's antithetical to what they're doing with this Batmaniverse, but I still want it. That's my unreasonable request. I want a Man-Bat, I want a Mr. Freeze, I'd settle for a Joker driving around in a bright, garish purple car with fucking green tear gas streaming out of the windows, laughing his ass off while he robs a bank. Just something zany, you know?
Of all things, I think the thing that still kind of gets me about this is how cool Maserati is with having their cars and with this very evil character.
That's because they ain't fucking assholes, like, who is it? Apple?
Yeah, you know what? Fair.
Yeah, Apple's the one who owns iPhone, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and therefore no bad guys can use an iPhone? Fuck you!
Yeah, which is also amazing whenever there's a movie that has their devices in it, because it's like, alright, well that just spoiled the movie.
Yeah, look, I can tell who the bad guy is now, he's the one not using the fucking iPhone. Great!
Right.
Thanks a lot, you dick sticks.
Mm-hmm.
We also got another trailer for Transformers 1.
Still eager to see this.
Yeah, and also it turns out Steve Buscemi is Starscream.
Huh. Really?
Yeah.
Okay, alright.
How do you do, fellow Transformers? No, I like that this trailer goes a little deeper into Megatron and Optimus's bond and the fracturing thereof. I feel like that's a very important aspect of this movie that was hinted at, but, I mean, obviously, it doesn't really need to be shown in all the trailers, because when you know one of them is gonna become Megatron, the falling out is implied.
It's like, well, how do you know? Well, it's easy to tell. First off, Megatron does not have an iPhone. Alright, so...
Oh man, that's really good. Starscream, get me an iPhone. I can't do that, Lord Megatron. Apple said no.
Because Apple are pussies.
Do as I command.
Steve Jobs just like, no. Steve Jobs, the rights of the game is like, no.
You know, I think the main reason I am excited that the main reason I felt like we needed to see that they were going to have a falling out in this is because given the way the Transformers films have been handled so far, I couldn't necessarily trust that was how it was going to go.
I feel like that's understandable.
And also, I hate Bumblebee. That has not changed here. Wait, let me rephrase. I hate Bumblebee except in the movie Bumblebee.
Oh, okay.
I like him there. Also, he's good in Transformers Prime, so, yeah.
Yeah, fair.
Voiced by Terry McGinnis in that, Batman Beyond, Will Friedle.
Okay.
Friedle? I don't know how you pronounce it. Either way. He was also Blue Beetle in Batman the Brave and the Bold.
Okay.
That's neither here nor there. And then, we also, very soon after the first one, I feel like, we got another trailer for Hellboy the Crooked Man.
Yeah, it seems like the time between these trailers was very smart.
That lady ate a squirrel.
She did eat a squirrel.
That was uncomfortable.
That was... Yes.
She slurped that shit up like it was a fucking vermicelli noodle.
I've heard of what noodle?
A vermicelli.
I've never heard of that.
Type of pasta.
Well, yes, I gathered that. Oh, those. Okay.
Yeah. Uncomfortable.
Quite.
No, I was already pretty decently sold on the first trailer, or at least, I don't know about sold, but I definitely thought it was interesting, and this continues that. I like a good scary movie.
Yeah, I do like that this is definitely leaning more on the horror side deeply than I feel like deeply than most of the previous movies I've ever done.
Yeah. Or at least, it's a different kind of horror.
Hmm.
It's not the same, it's certainly not Hellboy, the bad one's gross out horror.
Well, I mean, the previous Hellboy movie was just gross because it was bad.
Yeah. And bad because gross.
Right.
It's a snake eating its own tail.
Right.
Ad infinitum, hope and despair. That's one of my favorite Kingdom Hearts jokes ever. Apropos of nothing, there's a bit where they're trying to get ingredients together to make a heart, and they've got symbolic things of each of those elements, and one of them is hope and despair, and it's just two snakes eating each other's tail in a circle, and I thought it was the funniest fucking thing, and I still do.
I mean, I can see why.
But anyways, I think my favorite part in this trailer is the bit with the guy going, "Do you not believe in the power of prayer?" Loads up the gun, just in case.
Yeah, no, it's like, I believe in the power of 50 cal.
I believe in the power of Smith and Wesson.
Indeed.
What's a gun with 3 names?
A gun with 3 names. A gun with 3 names. Probably some, like, old British rifle from the 1800s.
Fuck, it's too late. It's too late for the joke. Leave it.
I believe in the power of Heckler and Koch.
Yeah, close enough. Amen.
Amen, indeed.
A women too? Equal opportunity?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. A them.
A them.
I strive for inclusivity.
Because that is important. That is always important.
Yeah.
This is going a little all over the place.
Let's go to box office. We did, obviously, see the highest grossing movie this weekend, because it was Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yay.
Highest R-rated opening of all time, actually.
No kidding. Okay.
Yeah, $211.4 million domestic weekend and total. It's sitting at $444.57 million worldwide, and that's against a $200 million budget, so it's already making some money back from the sound of it.
Hey, there you go.
Although, this did have a pretty prolific marketing budget, so it wouldn't surprise me if it was more than the same as production budget. Maybe they took all the production budget from the Marvels and moved it over to here. I don't know. If you did, shame on you.
Right.
But, so that's, we saw the highest grossing thing this weekend.
Yeah, I feel like it's been a while since we both have done that.
Yeah, I mean, there were a few weeks there where you hadn't seen anything.
Yeah.
But, we did see Deadpool and Wolverine. It is the third of the Deadpool movies. It's, in a lot of ways, sort of a swan song to the yesteryear of Fox Marvel in particular. It's also kind of a follow-up to the Wolverine movies, but not really. I feel like that part's not a spoiler because, well, they already showed that this was going to be a different Wolverine in the trailers.
Right.
But, yeah, no, I like this.
It was a good time.
And I think the fact that I like this is important to note because I fucking hate Wolverine for the most part. I think Hugh Jackman does a fine job in the role, but I think the necessity of finding somebody who captures the essence of Wolverine is a little fucking overinflated because I don't think Wolverine's all that. I think he has the potential for depth, but I don't think he's particularly difficult to get down. And while I think Jackman does a standout job, I don't think he's irreplaceable. That's my hot take. That's my Wolverine stance, but I like this.
Yeah, this was good. This was, I would say for me, this is the second best, being extremely close to Deadpool 1.
Huh.
Out of the 3 Deadpool movies is where I would rank it. And I like all 3 of them quite a bit.
Yeah, I don't like Deadpool 2 as much. I have a few things with Deadpool 2 that really make me go, this isn't as good as the first one by a long shot.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Honestly, I kind of think I liked this one more. I think this is my favorite of the Deadpools, and I think it's because it's Deadpool doing stupid, wacky, zany stuff all the way through, with just a hint of pathos and genuine human emotion sprinkled in, which is how I like my Deadpool.
Yeah, like, this definitely feels Deadpool being a lot more focused, in particular.
Yeah, because the first one, a lot of the time went into setting up how he got his powers and his relationship with Vanessa, and I like all that stuff, but it's not Deadpool to me. It was one of those, yeah, we kind of had to give all that up to get this first movie settled, and there's enough of Deadpool being Deadpool in it for me to go, yeah, this is a good time.
Right.
I still think it's a really good movie, but in comparison to this, it's like, yeah, this is just straight up Deadpool being Deadpool, because he's also not being a total fucking sad sack.
Right.
Because, don't get me wrong, he still made jokes in Deadpool too, but the amount of gravitas they gave Vanessa's death, I'm not going to say it's not that part that pisses me off, it's the movie by way of the credits and by way of Deadpool taking it seriously, acting like Vanessa dying is some shocking transgressive thing that no comic book movie would ever dare to do, and it's like, bitch, Amazing Spider-Man 2 did this 4 fucking years ago, you ain't clever.
Right.
Alright? But this is just peak nonsense. It's grade A absurdium.
Right.
And I'm here for the ride. Yeah. There's a little nagging voice in the back of my head the whole time going, you know, I can't help but feel like if we didn't have this knowledge of decades of Marvel movie history, studio IP ownership rights, and the minutiae of various film projects, we would find this a little insufferable. And then I thought, you're right, but we do understand all that stuff, so shut the fuck up, I'm having a good time.
Right. Yeah, so I don't have anything else to, like, kind of branch off with that.
You want to take a stab at describing the premise?
It's a Deadpool movie.
Yeah, but there's a premise, there's a story, there's an overarching thing going on.
Fair. Okay, yeah, I'll give it my best shot. So, in this thing, sorry.
Perfect. No notes.
Yeah, I
Deadpool and Wolverine, it's a thing.
Yes. Oh, God, I really should be better about... I don't have a notebook to, like, bring into, like, the theater with me, but I really should be better at whipping out my laptop and writing down a few things once we get out of these movies. Anyway.
Yeah, no, I'm mostly leaning on you because I didn't take notes because somehow I lost my pen after sitting down and I don't know where it fucking went.
That's right, I forgot about that.
That still pisses me off. I don't know how that happened.
I forgot that you lost your pen, like, literally right before the movie even got started. And I feel bad because I just now realized, like, I could have helped you look for your pen when we lost power.
Oh, we wouldn't have found it then. It would have been dark. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's fair.
Odds are it's under the seat and wedged really deep in there, and it would have been gross to go get it.
Deep. Balls deep. Like Deadpool. Anyway! Alright. Actual description. So, this is the third Deadpool movie. This is taking place pretty much, I want to say, like, almost directly after Deadpool 2.
Well, it starts directly after Deadpool 2, and then it jumps 6 years.
Yeah. So, in this, Wade Wilson is... Oh, God. Because I know how I want to describe it, but part of the description does actually spoil, like, the first 20 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, wow, I feel like I really set you up for failure, because it's hard to talk about the premise without getting into some of the cameos that weren't spoiled, that just show up really early in the movie.
Yeah, and it's also a thing. It's also a thing of, like, part of the setup for why Deadpool is going for Wolverine and all that does actually require spoiling a key part of the movie. Or not require, because there's, like, a key part of it, but it's like, even the smaller keys that are around the big key are things I don't want to give away just yet. It's a lot of character development type of stuff.
You want me to take over taking a stab at it?
Sure, go for it.
Okay. So, a Wolverine-sized stab at it. So...
An adamantium-sized stab at it.
It's been 6 years since Deadpool 2, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And... both in and out of universe. And since then, Deadpool has hung up the spandex. He is now a used car salesman, along with Peter, aka Sugar Bear, and he's content to spend his life just hanging out with his friends, the people who matter to him. Him and Vanessa have broken up. It's honestly a little sad and pathetic, but, you know, he's happy, or at least pretending to be, aren't we all?
Right.
And then he gets recruited by the Time Variance Authority, as seen in Loki, and told that they need to move him to the Sacred Timeline, aka the main MCU, because he has a grand destiny in store for him there. And then, because it's Deadpool, things go horribly askew.
Indeed.
For reasons that I can't quite get into yet, he needs a Wolverine, but unfortunately, his Wolverine is dead, as seen in Logan. And it's a little confusing at that point, because Logan's supposed to be happening in 2029, And this is set in 2024, so the question becomes, why doesn't he just go get his presumably still alive Wolverine?
Yeah.
But, anyways, he ends up multiverse hopping a little bit. He finds a Wolverine. They end up in the void between worlds. They gotta get back. They gotta save Deadpool's world. See if they could save Wolverine's world. Maybe save the entire multiverse while they're at it. Maybe get laid. Who knows? Maybe they'll go to Vegas.
And then
you don't
get
know.
laid.
And then get laid. Maybe they'll get laid, then go to Vegas, and this is too long a joke. This is good, stupid fun, is what this movie is. This is the peak of comic nonsense, and I'm pretty much here for it, honestly. Mostly because we have Deadpool around to make fun of it while it's going on. You know, there are people who are saying that this movie is overly reverent towards Marvel Studios, specifically because the fucking credits don't insult everybody involved with the movie this time. To which I say, what the fuck are you smoking? There's still plenty of shots at Marvel in this.
Right. Honestly, there's a lot of shots that I'm genuinely surprised that Marvel was cool with.
Right? Also, there's so many characters in this I was not expecting. And I feel like that's almost a giveaway on its own, but everything you've seen in the trailers barely scratches the surface.
Oh, yeah. God, it's so nice that this movie has trailers that don't just give the whole game away from the get-go.
That's really impressive, because it genuinely looks like the trailers gave you a good chunk of the movie.
Yeah.
They did not.
They did not. And it's also refreshing that it's like, alright, finally, we have people who know how to edit trailers that don't give away the whole goose.
Woo! Let's see. I feel like, obviously, the strongest point is Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman's interplay off each other as Deadpool and Wolverine. They're great.
They're great. Their chemistry is phenomenal.
Partly helped by them being friends in real life.
To the point of, like, eating horrible spicy chicken wings with one another.
Hell yeah.
When you finish listening to this episode, by all means, please watch the absolutely wonderful Hot Ones episode with Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. It is amazing.
It's truly something to behold.
Yes. But yeah, their chemistry is really fun to watch, and just the kind of spiraling out of controlness that happens as things go on. I mean, I obviously don't want to talk about any of the other things that pop up, but slightly want to talk about... Is it Cassandra Nova?
Cassandra.
Cassandra Nova?
Yeah, played by Emma Corrin.
Yeah, I said Cassandra because British.
She's a delightful little gremlin.
Oh, she is Are they, more accurately. Are because the actress is non-binary.
Oh, I see, okay.
They are a great job as just being the most catastrophic, deranged little gremlin you've ever seen. There hasn't been such a ridiculous gremlin since Maya in Ace Attorney.
Don't you drag them down to Maya's level.
I mean, fair.
Maya's not an entertaining gremlin. She's an annoying gremlin, and I'm glad she's dead. Well, not dead, but not speaking to us anymore.
Right. Someone who's familiar with the games is going to be like, what the hell is he talking about? We are alluding to some inner, under-the-bridge cinematic universe nonsense.
Yeah, we do. Well, we haven't been doing for a bit because the equipment's down. We were doing Twitch streams on Unlimited Video Games Twitch channel, and I'm pretty sure it's not up there anymore, but one of the last ones we did was wrapping up Ace Attorney Justice for All, and I threw a fucking fit at the end of that game because we had to resort to a walkthrough, and the walkthrough fucked us up.
Yeah, the walkthrough was wrong, which is amazing.
Hated it. No, Cassandra Nova's great.
Cassandra Nova is amazing in this.
Just delightfully off-kilter, batshit insane, well and truly vile.
Horrifically vile.
Fucks up some fools in an absolutely, just horrifying manner.
Right.
Very good.
Very good indeed.
Matthew McFadden is Paradox. He's that sleazy, smarmy, middle management punchable guy.
I was to say, he has the most punchable British face.
Yeah, he does. He really does. He's just that guy who's always throwing other people under the bus to get ahead. I hate him. But he's so good at it, you know?
He's extremely good at it.
Yeah. I have mentioned this movie is stupid, right?
Oh, it's so fucking dumb.
There's so many things in this movie that if you give it an ounce of thought, just confuse the fuck out of you. But
yeah.
It's really just about facilitating the fun banter between Deadpool and Wolverine, smattered with a hint of actual humanity in there. Some really good jokes.
Some amazing jokes. Some amazing, very meta jokes. I'm not just talking about the whole constant jabs at Marvel proper.
The jokes border on gubernatorial.
Yes, indeed. Has that become your favorite word?
For the time being, yeah.
I like how, just to kind of put that out there too, that word, when I typed in G into Google, like, let me just make sure. Okay, well, Google pops up with other things that also start with G, but that word was one of the first results.
Nice. Google knows what we're doing. I hate that.
Yeah.
I hate that so much.
Yeah, a little bit.
If I had a big complaint, it's that Deadpool feels not necessarily sidelined in his own movie, but except for him, this movie doesn't feel that interested in being a Deadpool movie.
Right.
It's that same issue of abandoning the core supporting cast that helped make the previous movies what they are, which is frustrating, but I feel like less so in this case.
Right, yeah.
Partly because there's a reason they've been sidelined, partly because it doesn't feel like it's being done out of any lack of interest in using them, although, now that I think about it, it's a lack of interest relative to we got fucking Hugh Jackman back, and we got him in the suit, oh my god, we got him to sign up, we got him in the suit, can you fucking believe this? We got him, ladies and gentlemen, we got one.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
I'm a little disappointed in the climax, if I'm honest.
Oh, really?
Only one specific element, but also I'm really pleasantly surprised with the trajectory this sets up for Deadpool in the MCU going forward.
Really? Because I felt... I don't know if I want to give my take on that, because that might also be a little bit of a spoiler.
I really tried to phrase it in a way that gave nothing away.
That's fair.
But it sounds like you have a dissenting opinion.
Slightly?
I look forward to discussing it.
Yeah.
Let's see. It doesn't actually feel that long, and that's really impressive considering that it was down for probably 10 minutes when the power went out in our theater.
That was, oh god, summer in Florida, ladies and gentlemen.
I got so tilted.
It was hilarious, because our power cut during the beginning of a very, very funny moment, and it's just like, all the lights went out, it's just like, I was like, you've got to be...
For 1 second, I thought it was part of the bit. I thought the movie was doing a hard cut to something.
Right.
And then it turns out, oh no, the power's just out. Oh, that fucking sucks.
Yeah, and it's especially annoying because it's like, I checked, since our power was out, I was like, alright, well, this is going on for a minute, let's check the radar. And it's just one storm. Granted, it was a very significant storm, but it was basically just like one tiny storm cell literally on top of our movie theater.
Ugh.
Just over top the portion of Florida that we were in, barely taking up half of the city. It was just a tiny little, but still significant thunderstorm. It's like, of fucking course.
And then the movie came back on, only it was playing without sound. Actually, you know what? I'd be very interested in watching a soundless cut of this movie.
A silent film version of this movie would be a good time, I feel.
Because the little bit we got was astounding. Honestly, you know what? Maybe we should send an email to Ryan Reynolds' people or something and be like, hey, so this is what happened in our movie theater, and I don't know how much money this would take, and if it's not economically feasible, obviously don't worry about it, you don't know a shit, king, but if you could, maybe do like maybe like put a black and white filter over the movie and occasionally cut when exposition is needed to do like one of those sound cards where they put the dialogue in.
Right.
Because I feel like that kind of cut of Deadpool and Wolverine would be great.
Oh, it'd be very funny. And it's especially funny because when that happened, I was still sitting in my seat, and it just kept on going for a little bit. And there was a thing of like, oh, there's some, I don't know what's going on, but there's some good shit here. And then, right when you came back, they fixed it and rewound it. And it's like, you came around time, and it's just like, oh, there's some good shit about to start up.
I like how this movie addresses how it's handling the ending of Logan.
Right.
I feel like what it does is a spoiler. So I'm not gonna get into it, which is really funny because it's right at the start of the fucking movie. But man, that was good. Mm-hmm. And then also, you know what, having Daphne Keane back as X-23 is nice.
Yeah, which was, I want to say, like, actually confirmed in the press or something like that before this movie came out.
Yeah, that was the final trailer, so I don't feel bad about that one.
Right, yeah.
I feel like that might be it for the non-spoiler section.
Yeah, I don't have anything else for non-spoilers right now.
Oh, you know what? It's also excessively violent, and I like that too.
Oh, it is so violent. It is so bloody.
But I'm a fan of that.
Right. And that's okay.
They take full advantage of the fact that neither of the main characters can really die.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. There's some nonsense that comes from that.
Yep. So I think that about wraps up the non-spoiler section. In summation, I think this is definitely worth watching. It is not a movie where if you have your brain on for any length of time, you're gonna have a fun time.
Yeah, this is a mindless film.
Well, I wouldn't say... no, okay, it's mindless, but it's not soulless.
Right. Oh, no, God, no. There's a lot of love and energy put into this, for sure.
There's a lot of heart in here, there's a lot of
soul.
Really kind of touching metatextual examination of this particular corner of the Marvel Universe.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's really nice.
It's very nice, and we'll probably never see it in, like, the mainline stories of of other characters.
Yeah. Because the thing is, when... That's a spoiler. Fuck, I'm just gonna cut that whole fucking section.
So if you don't want to hear... If you don't... do you want to just move straight into the spoiler section?
Yeah, just fucking do it.
Alright, so if you don't want to get spoilers on Deadpool and Wolverine, make sure to click away in 3, 2, 1.
So the movie literally starts with Deadpool digging up Logan's grave. Acknowledging how are we gonna avoid desecrating his sacrifice? We're not.
Yeah, it just goes full send right from the get-go.
Yeah, as we later find out, the reason he needs a Wolverine is because apparently Wolverine was an anchor being in his universe, which is a stupid fucking concept, and if it never pops back up, I'll be quite happy, but I'm sure it's gonna factor into Avengers Doomsday or Secret Wars or some fucking bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
And the premise is, without the anchor being, the universe can't survive, and eventually it dies, and that's supposed to take a couple 100,000 years, but since Paradox is a fucking brown-nosing social climber, he's decided to accelerate that process to try and get himself a promotion. So he's gonna destroy Deadpool's universe entirely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just for laughs, basically.
Yeah. So Deadpool decides, fuck it, I'll find a new Wolverine, with blackjack and hookers.
Yeah, but instead of that, we just get alcoholism.
Yeah. So he goes through a montage. First he beats up a bunch of TVA agents to Bye 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 by NSYNC, which is great.
Which is amazing, but also a thing that made me go, is like, stop fucking reminding me that I'm 30 years old.
Yeah. This soundtrack really is there to make you realize how old you actually are if you're our age.
Yeah, for real.
30s. Fuck.
Mm-hmm.
So then he goes on a universe-hopping montage looking for replacement Wolverines, including Patch, his casino bar-owning alter ego, a comic-accurate in terms of height Wolverine. I feel a little attacked. The funny thing is Wolverine's still taller than me.
Really?
5'6", I want to say.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So Wolverine's still taller than I am, that's funny.
Hmm.
A Wolverine who's been nailed to an X-shaped cross.
Which was wild, by the way.
Mad Max Wolverine.
Yeah.
Well, okay, not Mad Max, the Warriors Wolverine. That's a better way to put that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, fucking Henry Cavill! That's probably my favorite cameo in this whole fucking thing, if I'm honest.
So... was that just a shits and giggle type of cameo, or was there talk at one point of Henry Cavill playing Wolverine?
It was, I think, a decently popular fan cast.
Okay.
But also, just getting Henry Cavill in the MCU has been a pretty popular fan cast ever since the DCEU was confirmed to be dead.
He's like, I'm switching sides.
But frankly, I don't blame Cavill for not coming back, especially because most of the fan cast people could come up with were just variations on playing Superman. So...
Mm-hmm.
Seeing him briefly show up as Wolverine, that's funny to me.
Right.
And then he finds this Wolverine, the one from the one who's the protagonist of this movie, who is allegedly the worst Wolverine. It's kind of fucking silly though, because really, it's kind of tame why he's the worst Wolverine.
Yeah. I was expecting a lot worse.
Same. Oh, Happy Hogan cameos right at the start of this movie.
Which... well... multiverse.
It's another one of those... This is a scene that feels like it was written for a different draft of the movie, and then they kept it in anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Because somehow Deadpool at the start of the movie jumped to I guess when he was time traveling, he somehow jumped to the main MCU universe and tried interviewing for the Avengers and got shot down, and that's what kickstarted his internal crisis that led to him hanging up the suit and no longer being with Vanessa. So, that was weird.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know how he got there. I don't know why he went back. It feels like at some point there might have been a Deadpool and Wolverine script that was just about Deadpool mucking about in the MCU. Maybe not even a whole script, just like an idea for a scene, and they kept it in anyway.
Right, yeah.
So he finds this Wolverine, and he goes back to the TVA, and Paradox is like, no, you don't get it. I'm blowing up your universe one way or the other, and now you're just going to the void. To the depths with you. The pit! To the pit! They end up in the pit,
yes.
and they see a familiar Chris Evans-y type face. Which you called. You called, because I genuinely thought it was going to be a Captain America.
Yeah, I was just like, someone get me an iPhone, because I called that shit.
And you're not the bad guy.
Yeah, I can be.
No, it turns out Chris Evans is playing the Human Torch from the Fantastic Four movies.
Yes, and by the way, I just really want to emphasize, I am absolutely loving this new era of very likable dickhead Chris Evans.
You almost say dick-ass?
I almost said dick-ass, yes.
Oh, that's good.
I feel like it's like, obviously I enjoyed his time quite a bit as Captain America, but some of these roles that he's done since just feel like the roles he's meant to play. He is startlingly good at being a very likable asshole. Yeah.
No, there's all kinds of people. Sabretooth, played by Tyler Mane from the original X-Men movie, shows up, and then Wolverine kills him in one single stroke battle. That's really fucking funny.
The fans have been waiting for this for decades.
And it's over.
And it's over, just like that.
Pyro is back. He absorbs all of Johnny Storm's fire. I thought he was dead after that. The way he hit the ground, I thought he cracked his fucking neck.
Oh yeah, I thought he was like Dunzo.
No, he dies about 10 minutes later to Cassandra Nova.
You're right.
Because Deadpool throws him under the bus saying that Johnny said a lot of stuff that he apparently didn't say, which then leads to a really funny post-credit scene where it turns out he actually did.
Right.
And then said, and you can quote me on that. That was really fucking funny.
Gotcha, nerds.
Yep. The middle of the movie, I'm kind of losing steam on what happened.
Yeah, it's a lot of craziness, because the middle of the movie is a lot of establishing actions as they go on, what they're fighting for, what makes these characters tick, especially Wolverine. Because I know you said earlier, it's like, Deadpool doesn't get, like, sidelined in his own movie, but if we're being honest, the focus is more so Wolverine. And in particular, what makes this Wolverine the worst one out there.
Which, again, for all the build-up, pretty fucking lame.
Yeah, we basically find out that for the longest time, Xavier has been trying to recruit Wolverine into the X-Men, but Wolverine's like, no, I don't want to be. I gotta be all tsundere about it.
I don't want to be in your superhero boy band, Charles.
Yeah, and it's like a thing of, like, he even says, I couldn't let them know that I wanted to be there. I'm just like, why? What the fuck?
No, that's pretty accurate to Logan's character. He's kind of a fucking prick.
But then turns out that there was one time when he was just off fucking about, not doing anything of significance, and the humans came, attacked, I assume, the X-complex, and everyone died. And he wasn't there to save them, and he showed up too late to do anything. After that, there were no more X-Men, and he just went on a total rampage, killing a bunch of people, including people who had nothing to do with it. Which, obviously, that is pretty bad. I will say that's bad.
But the worst Wolverine in the multiverse? I don't think so.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be something where it's like some like crazy-ass Magneto gets horrifically overpowered, goes apeshit, and Wolverine can't do anything about it, and everyone that he cares about, including all of the humans that he's trying to protect, end up dying. That's what I thought it was going to go for, or something along those lines.
Yeah, see, the Old Man Logan backstory was right there, because in Old Man Logan, what happens is all the supervillains band together and team up to kill all the superheroes and end up basically kind of taking over the world and turning it into a dystopian wasteland. And what happened to the X-Men specifically is that Mysterio uses a bunch of illusions to trick Wolverine into killing all of them. Now, I don't know how the fuck he's supposed to kill Storm or Jean Grey.
Right, yeah.
Aside from them going way easy on him. But I find the idea that Wolverine could kill them both more tragic and a lot more believable than the idea that a bunch of humans somehow did it.
Yeah.
Wolverine feels bad because he wasn't there when the X-Men died. Bitch, if they could kill fucking Storm and Jean Grey, what the fuck were you gonna do? Die with them?
Yeah, it's like, if the humans were somehow capable of killing those characters, then you basically had no chance to begin with.
So you killed a few innocent people.
So you committed some light homicide. Big fucking whoop.
So's the American justice system. Oh, that's a little too dark for the room, I think.
Yeah, just a little bit.
I'm gonna keep it, though.
So, but yeah, the middle of the movie is just establishing, Wolverine's whole backstory and what makes him tick, or honestly, more accurately, what does not make him tick.
Dogpool shows up.
Dogpool shows up a few times. We get a crazy-ass fight between Deadpool and Wolverine in a Honda Odyssey that they end up destroying.
That's pretty good.
Which I personally think is like some kind of weird-ass allegory to angry sex.
You think that? Like, that's not the intentional subtext, huh?
Yeah,
that's your completely off-the-cuff, no help from the actual movie interpretation, huh?
Yeah, it's like, it's like, I feel like this is, to Ryan Reynolds, what, I forget who directed or wrote Doctor Strangelove, but, how the people who created Doctor Strangelove, like, just put in a lot of subversive, yet still extremely in-your-face phallic jokes.
That was Kubrick.
Kubrick, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, is this like to the phallic jokes to Strangelove? Is that what we're going for here?
There's also Nicepool, who's played by Ryan Reynolds, and he's a prick.
It's amazing. I've talked about this kind of thing before, and I feel like people don't believe me when I talk about it. But there are a subset of human beings in this world who are so nice. And it's like, and I want to emphasize, these are not bad people when you meet them. But they are so nice and so polite that it circles right back around to being annoying as fuck. That was Nicepool.
No, I feel like Nicepool's a little worse because you can feel where for him, a lot of the niceness is performative. It's him putting on a holier-than-thou air and presenting it as niceness.
Right.
He calls himself Nicepool, I'm pretty sure.
Fair.
So he's a prick.
You know what's funny is that because of how his hair is done up, when Nicepool full shows up, I immediately went, who the fuck are you? Oh, wait, you are Ryan Reynolds. Okay. Yeah, so all of that gets established. And then we get our cameos.
Well, no, these aren't cameos. This is just our supporting cast. Cameo implies a short appearance. We get the Resistance, who's been working against Cassandra Nova, comprised of, as previously announced, Jennifer Garner's Elektra, although everybody kind of forgot about that.
Right.
Wesley Snipes as Blade.
Which, I kind of had to do a double take when that happened, because I'm like, is that Wesley Snipes? He hasn't aged well.
Daphne Keane as X-23, who was already given away in the trailer. And then, Channing Tatum Gambit. Now, for this is the peak of, this is exclusively here for the fucking film nerds.
Yeah.
The Marvel film nerds specifically. Because the joke there is that for the longest time, there was a Gambit film in development with Channing Tatum attached to star, and he was trying so hard to get this off the ground because he really wanted to play this character. And then, finally, when progress was getting started on it, because it lost director after director, kind of like Blade, if I'm honest. Right when things were turning around, Disney bought Fox and the whole thing got fucking buried. Hence, the character going on about how he feels like he never really belonged anywhere, never really got a chance to be a hero. It's all a big, giant fucking joke about this movie that almost got made but didn't, which is amazing.
They go into a whole thing of how they ended up in the void. It's like, I got pulled from my universe. I was pulled from my universe too. And then Gambit's just like, I don't know what happened. I kind of feel like I was born here. I was like, damn.
Now, it's funny, because when we first just saw the playing card, I thought it was going to be Colin Farrell.
Oh, really?
I thought it was him as Bullseye.
Oh, nice.
I guess, to be fair, that would have been a little redundant with Elektra being there. Interesting that Ben Affleck couldn't make it. I'm not surprised.
Right.
So, Deadpool then, rallies them. They do a big storming on Cassandra Nova's compound because the Juggernaut's helmet can apparently block out her psychic powers. Deadpool was trying to pull for Magneto's helmet, and then we get, Cassandra melted it. Fuck! After she killed Magneto. Fuck!
Everyone is so busted in this.
Yep. They storm the compound. Stuff happens. They actually manage to reach out to Cassandra Nova with a little bit of compassion, and she sends them back to Wolverine's universe, only to then, because she had an agreement with the TVA, and then they betrayed her, so then there's a lot going on in this fucking movie. She turns on them.
I mean, I feel like one thing to mention before is just how we get a wonderful example of how much of a gremlin Cassandra Nova is. Because, like, they trap her and they're trying to use Juggernaut's helmet on her, because apparently that works. And they trap her, put the helmet on her, and then realize it's like, oh wait, we do actually need her alive. At which point, it's just a bunch of back and forth between her and Deadpool. It's like, I'll only take the helmet off if you promise not to kill us. Cassandra goes, it's like, I promise I'll kill you instantly. And he's like, why are you like
why
this?
Are you like this?
And she's just like, I don't know. I kind of wish I knew. It's like, okay, that's scary. It was like, damn, how dare this movie actually kind of make me feel bad for this character.
Yeah, no, that was good.
Mm-hmm.
She wants to destroy the entire multiverse and send it to the void so she can rule over all of it.
Mm-hmm.
She's got a big timeline ripper thing that uses matter and antimatter to blast apart universes. The Deadpool core worked for her for some reason, which are literal hundreds of Deadpools.
Yeah, including Ladypool.
Voiced, at least, by Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds' actual wife.
Yeah.
Nathan Fillion is Headpool.
Okay, I want to say I saw a thing that apparently, like, the kid pools are actually, like, Ryan Reynolds' children.
Yeah. Oh, and apparently Matthew McConaughey is Cowboy Pool.
Oh, nice.
Alright. So, Wolverine finally puts on the cowl, which, okay, that... I like the costume, I hate that fucking mask.
Oh, it's so fucking bad.
It's so fake.
And it's especially funny because I feel like, if I remember right, when that happened, people in our theaters started cheering, and both of us were just kind of like, ugh.
It's so funny to me, because my friend also really liked it, who saw it just the next day, and was really big about the mask, and I went, honestly, I feel like they did that mask like that just so nobody would ever ask for it again.
Yeah.
Fuck. It's the eyes! It's the eyes! You can't see any of Jackman's performance behind those dead fucking glossed over eyes. I don't know why it works for Deadpool and not for him. Maybe... I think it's because Deadpool's face is entirely CGI with the mask over it, whereas Jackman, you can still see his jawline, but the top half of his face is just completely painted over.
Yeah, like, I think it works better for Deadpool just because, since his whole face is CGI, you still see his, air quotes, mouth, nose, and you actually see the movement of his eyes, and all of that does a good job of still being very expressive. Whereas with the mask, it just looks like some cheap shit from Party City.
Right. So, Nicepool dies because Deadpool uses him as a human shield. Turns out he can't regenerate.
Which is wild.
I love that. Especially because it really sets you up for the next bit, where Deadpool and Wolverine slice their way through all the other Deadpool core till Madonna's Like a Prayer, and then they all get back up because they can all still regenerate. But then they all end up calling off the fight because Peter shows up.
Yeah, it's Peter. It's like, every Deadpool has a Peter. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
That was pretty funny. Deadpool and Wolverine go to stop Cassandra. Turns out you gotta something, break the circuit, loop the matter and antimatter around, but whoever does it is gonna be destroyed. Wolverine does the whole thing of, you've got a whole world. I got nothing. I'll do it. He's about to do it. Deadpool does it instead. Turns out Deadpool can't reach to connect both cables, so he and Wolverine both do it. Oh, Cable's not in this. Weird. But Cable is. Cable's not in it. Henry Cable, though.
Yes, he is.
Deadpool and Wolverine are seemingly obliterated, except they're not, and it's never really explained why that didn't instantly kill them.
Right.
Wolverine gets to stay in Deadpool's world because apparently he's the new anchor being somehow.
Yeah, it's not really explained, because it also kind of leads to kind of a thing where it's a moment of like, oh, that's nice, but go fuck yourself. Because one of the things that kind of keeps Wolverine going in this is the thought of fixing his world. And at that bit, they go, yeah, I told my friend that, you guys might be able to fix his world, so do you think he can do that? And they're just like, well, why would we do that? His past is what made him who he is right now, so there's nothing to fix. Well, you're not wrong, but...
Also, fuck you.
Yeah.
X-23 also gets rescued from the Void and starts living with them, which means that there's potentially 2 Logans and 2 X-23s running around.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
I think the really interesting thing is this doesn't end with Deadpool in the MCU. He is still firmly in his own universe.
And that's kind of why I was dissenting a little bit earlier, because it's a thing of how you're saying it's like they did a good job of working him in the MCU. Honestly, I feel like they worked him in to not interfere with the MCU.
Oh, I never said they worked him in. I said where it leaves him in relation to the MCU was not what I was expecting, and I like it.
Okay, fair. Yeah, because I'm just sitting here going at the end of that. Alright, so that's the best way they could have had a Deadpool movie interact with the MCU without it actually interacting with the MCU, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And I'm sure Secret Wars is just gonna mash Deadpool's world and the MCU and the Fantastic Four's universe all into one, and there is now Keith, and then they're all on the same planet or whatever, but...
Why is Thor crying?
That's a pretty good running gag.
Yes. Also, completely off from all of that, one of the things that was bugging me is, like, with Dogpool, is like, what fucking breed are you?
Ugly.
Well, yes. So I actually just really quickly went on the MCU wiki page because they have an entry on Dogpool, and the dog's name is Peggy, and I was like, okay, what breed are you? It's a Puggies, I think that's how it's called, where it's a mix of a pug and a Chinese crested dog. And the picture for this breed is of Dogpool.
Yeah, it's a really ugly dog. I like this dog a lot.
Yeah, it's an ugly-ass dog.
So, I will say, the anchor being had the potential to be an interesting metaphor for the concept of basing an entire universe around one character and watching it slowly decline into nothingness when you can't use that character anymore. Only, it's kind of unfortunate that the solution is then just get another fucking one.
Right.
But I wonder if they had to do it that way because otherwise Sony would be pissed off.
Yeah, or it's the thing of, hey, maybe if we play our cards right, we can use this man for the next 90 years of his life.
That's right, it is Wolverine!
Mm-hmm.
He was dead, Fox killed him, but Disney brought him back. They're gonna make him do this till he's 90.
At least.
Now, also though, I really like it's not just characters from previous Fox movies and also Blade show up just to fuck off and die. Mm-hmm. They actually have some pathos, they have character. It's mentioned that their stories just kind of ended prematurely and how that's not necessarily fair, and the implication at the end that they do finally get that ending they wanted is actually really sweet. Yeah. And it's interesting because when they first announced Jennifer Garner was going to be in this movie way back last year, a lot of people immediately speculated this would be Deadpool kills the Fox Marvel Universe, and he was just going to sort of massacre his way through. But this is pretty much the exact opposite of that. Yeah,
it's a very nice kind of send-off to that universe, helped in bit by the little behind-the-scenes reels that play during the credits, too.
Yeah, even Fan Forstick gets a nod.
Yeah, it's all very nice, even with the mentioning of various meta jokes that still come with that, such as Blade just going, "There's only one Blade."
Deadpool look at camera.
Yeah!
My favorite joke in this whole movie, based solely on the tension on the set of Blade 3, is Deadpool says something and Blade just goes, "I don't like you." He never did.
Yeah.
That had me in fucking stitches.
I keep on forgetting that Ryan Reynolds was involved in that, honestly.
Yeah. No, that's why I say this movie is mindless, but it is not soulless.
Right.
There's a lot of genuine heart and appreciation for this side of Marvel movies that I was not expecting, and that honestly I still don't think some of them deserve. But I respect it.
Right.
You'll never get me to say anything positive about Fantastic Four 2015, though. Never.
No. But we did get well, no, it wasn't that Fantastic Car from that, but still.
No. We did get a Fantastic Car, though. That was super cool.
Oh, it was very cool.
So I think that about covers it.
Mm-hmm.
Finally. Jesus, this is gonna take a lot to edit out.
Oh, yeah.
Huh. But, yeah, no, I definitely still say go watch this. I mean, odds are you might have already seen it based on the box office, but...
Mm-hmm. It was a good time.
Yeah. If this being the only Marvel Studios movie we got this year, I think this was a worthy one to get.
Oh,
to be the only one.
Oh, 100%.
And I think that about wraps this up for this week. So, I'm gonna say thanks for listening, everybody. Make sure to share the video around if you did like it, because it really does help us out.
Oh, yeah.
Next week, we got a few different options. One is Harold and the Purple Crayon, which I'm pretty sure is right out.
Yeah, no. No, thank you.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I don't care about your children cartoons.
There's also M. Night Shyamalan's Trap.
It probably lean towards that, honestly.
But then there's also a movie called Kneecap, which is about a Belfast-based hip-hop trio of the same name, and apparently also stars them as themselves.
Interested.
Yeah, we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. Anyways, let us know in the comments what you liked about Comic-Con, especially anything that we didn't actually talk about, because I knew in advance that Robert Downey Jr. rant was going to take for fucking ever.
Right.
But thanks for bearing with. Thanks for listening, everybody. And until next time, this has been Under the Bridge with Cody, a.k.a. the Scarlet Troll.
And with Greg, a.k.a. Greg.
And we'll catch you all next week.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, tip your waitress.
And pay your video game actors.
Yeah, pay your fucking actors. Oh, it's good to be back.
It's good to be back, baby.
Look, I'm gonna cut this bit, but you have no idea how hard it is for me not to make a fucking joke about Marvel, do something boneheaded. Who would have fucking thought? You have no fucking idea. I'm cutting this bit.
That's fair. Wow, I didn't mean to be, like, sarcastically ironic, but I guess I pulled it off by accident.
I feel like a fucking tea kettle right now.
Just make sure to call the kettle black, or however that idiom goes.
Tip me over, pour me out, man. What the fuck? Oh, I regret that I'm gonna have to cut all of that. Anyways.
I mean, you could save it for the very end, maybe. Like,
you know what? That'd be a really good post-credits. You could quote me on that.